Today we're going to go over how we scaled a dating app to #1 in the App Store, how we added 4 million users with UGC for this #1 dating app. This has been one of the most fun campaigns we've run at Plutus Media. We're at 130 million views right now. I know the screenshot only shows 125, which, is kind of low, and 4 million downloads at the time of the screenshot. I want to preface by saying that this is my attempt of trying of making growth, of making distribution as simple as possible for technical teams, for technical founders, for heads of growth marketers, people who are looking to really understand what makes a marketing strategy, a growth strategy work. In my case, we talk about UGC at Plutus because that's what we do, but there's tons and tons of strategies that work as well, if not better than this one. And this is just, again, my attempt of making this as simple as possible, as tactical as possible for you that is watching right now. So for context, a couple of months ago, these guys were ranked 144 in lifestyle. They were, they had a couple viral videos before working with us, but it was just, I think most people we talk to is like this. It was just random, right? Like something worked. They didn't really know what. They got a ton of users and then never again, right? So you get a dopamine spike and it never happens again. It's just horrible, and you're relying on that organic traffic. And even worse, you now know what it feels like to have a ton of users come in. So that's where they were. The founder, we had a 45-minute interview with him. He literally thought about quitting the idea and closing the business at some point. I think it was, out with friends, talking about how he was going to close the app and, just leave it as another idea in the kind of cemetery. But after this kind of campaign, they did #1 in the App Store for a couple of weeks straight, right? The whole internet was talking about them, mainstream media, all of the big names you can imagine were talking about them. And we're going to dive into some of the strategies we used today. So just as far as results go, 130 million views from 144 to #1 in about 60 days, 2 months of posting, and 4 million installs. This is absolutely crazy. And just getting into the strategy, the full breakdown, we're going to go into the content strategy, so how we made them go viral, the creator system we use, so the distribution strategy we do with all of our clients, and then the conversion strategy, so how we turn those views into then installs in the bottom of the funnel. So first thing that worked really well on the viral content formats was the tiers hook. And this was something we saw with one of our first viral videos, and we were like trying to figure out what exactly in that video made it work so well. And, we tested a bunch of different things from that video, a bunch of different, isolated parts of the video that we, thought made it viral. And turns out the tears hook, so, the girls crying on camera in the first few seconds actually worked really, really well. So it hooked the viewers, and then the long text kept them watching. So you can see here some examples, right? And our creators really put on some, some winning Emmy Award winning performances with the crying. And the whole thing is it was believable, and it obviously just nailed an emotional pain point from potential users of this app. So I think the emotional overload was so high that people just ran through the comments and tried to, figure out what the app was. So this doesn't need to be tears or, any dramatic situation. You just need to understand that if you have an app, you solve a problem, right? And you have to be relatable, and you have to, be able to pull out the emotion from the viewer, whether it is, the drama, whether it is, the thought of achieving something, right? So that's what we try to do. And that's what we do with all of our campaigns. But that's what we were trying to do here with the crying hook. So then on the second format that was working really, really well was the cheater boyfriend, right? So these were shorter videos, 6 to 8 second videos, and basically it was just slowly panning to a boyfriend smiling, and the girlfriend was just exposing him, right? So this was great with creators that had partners that were okay on camera. And the initial hook, with the first lines of text, was just, again, another kind of reason for people to stay. You were kind of foreshadowing what the story was. So we showed them on camera, some type of reaction, then panning to the boyfriend, and the text on screen was kind of helping them understand what the situation was, so they stayed longer, right? So we just wanted to increase the watch time as much as possible, so the views went up, right? And you have here a lot of those examples, with the text on screen. He doesn't know this is our last evening, but I know about his mistress. Still, I stay silent, blah, 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 right? So it just gives them context with that text. Anyway, format 3, we had the criminal bad boys. So one thing that this app does is running background checks, so helping women date safely. And that we had the creators use dramatic text hooks like check his criminal record before date, and slightly exaggerated mannerisms, right, with the really emphasizing the emotion on the hook. And it also worked really, really well. In this video, actually, we did not only have like 10 million views or something. We had one of the comments that was mentioning the app go to 150K likes. So this was absolutely insane, right? What we did was we basically, we have our own creator community. We have our own creators that we train, that we develop. And, a lot of them comment on each other's posts. And that just sparked a lot of engagement. A lot of people with the story that was going on, because it's so dramatic and it pulls so much emotion, they just comment. And we kind of used that to pull in one of the comments mentioning the app, and it just went insane, right? So yeah, you can see the example here, and it just worked really, really well. So for the content strategy, all emotionally charged text and visual hooks. This was a must, right? Daily reminder, check his criminal record, my ex-boyfriend, POV, crying, just found out my man was, whatever. Most videos were actually 7 to 10 seconds long. I see a lot of people saying, oh, you got to do 10-minute videos for it to convert. It's just bullshit, right? You just got to have a good enough reason for people to convert. That's it. If you can show it in 7 to 10 seconds, that will work, especially on TikTok where everything's organic, snappy, just, pull out your phone, start recording. So yeah, that worked really well. And we used content angles that other women actually find relatable when it comes to dating. So this is another thing. Virality is relatability at scale. That's it. That's it. So we were able to do that with this and really pull in that kind of relatable feeling from other women. All the sounds, this is something I actually hear other people talk about. One other person in the space talking about how your sound really can amplify the emotion that you're trying to pull in from the viewer. And that's all we've done here. It's like not searching for the viral sound. That's, again, just absolute horseshit. We were just matching the sound with the emotion that we're trying to pull in from the viewer. Long text, again, to increase watch time, and then the sound that amplified the effectiveness of the hook and the overall tone. So again, for the trusted creator system, just a thing that we actually do. Basically, we placed and managed, are still managing 15 content creators. Some of them posting up to 4 times a day. And I want to, again, say this just so you understand. You don't start with posting 4 times a day. You do that once you find something that works. You double down on the frequency, just, and just put all of that volume in your best creators and ditch the rest. So some of them posting up to 4 times a day. So more videos, more chances to go viral, more viral videos, more installs. This is the flywheel. And the thing here that was absolutely crazy, that blew my mind, was the whole internet plugged into this. At some point, everyone was talking about this fucking app. And we only had 15 creators. All of the rest is fully organic. Just sparked conversation like this, and it went bonkers worldwide, mainstream media. So again, the UGC strategy allows for that insane distribution, for it to feel organic, right? So hopefully you got some value out of this. You understood some key points. If you didn't, please drop a comment and we'll reply as soon as we can. If you're also looking to do this for yourself, we have a free ebook that's in our description. If you're looking, to work with us, you can apply also in the link that's in our description. I look forward to keep delivering value to you guys. And if there's anything else you'd like us to address, please leave that in the comments. See you.